Hello and welcome. We're going to do the Tui Na Shoulder treatment now. So we'll begin with rolling. And as I'm rolling, I just want to say that we're going to show you like a broad range of techniques to do on the shoulder. Some of them are pretty aggressive, so it's up to you to figure out whether these moves are appropriate for your clients or not. So that's one reason why you have to understand the different pathologies of injuries and when it's appropriate to do different things. So, and I'll kind of point out when things are like, I'll say this is a really aggressive move. As I'm rolling, I want to move the shoulder joint. So I'll hold the hand. I really enjoy holding the hand this way. It feels very supported. I'm holding at the, so his forearm is across my forearm and my hand is underneath his elbow. I think this is much better than holding the hands because we do want to bring the arm up, and this is not very comfortable. If I'm like here, now I can raise the arm up and down, and my client feels really supported. So I'm going to come around. And again at the front, and I want to bring the arm. So as I'm rolling, I'm also kind of getting a sense of the range of motion that the shoulder has. Rolling down. And then where the tightness is, it's pretty, the pec can be pretty tight, so when we go into extension, you'll see how his body moves like that. So we know he's got a tight pec. And come in back, go up, get the deltoids, and down. And just do a real thorough job rolling all the way around. Okay. So now we are going to check for range of motion. This is something that we do at the beginning. You can also add it in at the end to show your client and yourself if you've gained any range of motion. So I stand at their back and my hand is resting on their shoulder. I'm not grasping it or anything. I'm listening with my hand. So I'm feeling for any resistance or when the body reaches a limitation. Feeling for any crepitus, and just getting a sense of where it is that I really want to focus on. So I hold at the wrist, and it's called comb the hair because if you do the full range, it looks like you're combing your hair. So we'll start, my hands here, and I'm going to start with small circles. And then you can go and do different movements, kind of trick your client. You could shake their arm if they're holding on. Sometimes if they have an injury, it's really hard for them not to hold on. So right here, I'm feeling all of this tightness right here. Feeling a lot of resistance and tightening. He's holding on, look.
Sorry.
It's okay, it's all right, it's real. It's what happens. So I've got a really good sense that it's all like right in here. And I can come forward, no issues at all. No issues back here, right? It's all right in here, anterior. Okay, so the full movement, I'm just gonna try and do it with Brent, but he's really tight right here, so it's not gonna look real smooth. So I'm gonna come in, and the full movement would be up. He's doing it, I'm not even doing anything. And back. Oh my goodness, it's all right there.
Really tight.
Yeah, it's really, really tight. So that would be the full movement, but with him, I just kind of stop here because I already know where it is. All right, so we've got some good information there. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go in and gnaw. And I'm gonna do a general gnaw, so I'll get the neck, I'll get the shoulder, I'll go down the arm, but I'm also gonna throw in some points. So I'll call them out as I go. Now we're only doing one shoulder, so the points are unilateral, but when I do the points like urinary bladder 10 and gallbladder 20, I'll just go ahead and do them bilaterally because it's just more comfortable for my hand. So I'll gnaw the neck, And come in and get gallbladder 20, nah, 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 nah. Urinary bladder 10, general, nah. And now I'll come in and get gallbladder 20, nah, nah, nah. And then I'm gonna come down the arm, nah. So I hold hands like I'm shaking hands, and large intestine 4 is right here. So I curl my 2 fingers under, my other 2 fingers are holding. This kind of supports the inside of his hand, and then I'll hold the point. So I'll nah, get in your nice bow stance, keep your head up. So I want to get the arm, so I'll switch hands if my hand's getting tired. And then I'll come back and I'll get points. Large intestine 11, large intestine 4, nah, 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 nah. And large intestine 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And large intestine 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. So I'll get them several times. And then also probably coming back to the neck, I'll probably go through the points again. Gallbladder 20, urinary bladder 10, and gallbladder 21. All right, so this next one, it's really great for breaking up stagnation. If you do this, you're gonna see a lot of blood come to the area. It is a funny move. It's polarizing. People love it or they hate it. There's nobody that seems to be in between. So it's called angry chicken. And so I'm going to use my 3 fingers. I'm going to strike and then peck and then come up. Okay? So it's pretty vigorous. So I'm striking and pinching. But really, should be doing it right here. I don't usually do it here, but he needs it here. Okay. Okay. And then you can see a little bit of blood in the area. So that's angry chicken. All right. So that's one that your people may or may not like. This next one is an aggressive move. The intent is to create more space in the shoulder joint. So I am going to have my hand on the shoulder. My fingers want to be below the clavicle, and my thumb is below the spine of the scapula. If you have a really big shoulder and a smaller hand and you can't get across like this, then you probably aren't going to be able to do this move, but coming up is a move that's somewhat similar and not quite as aggressive. So that move might be better for you. So I'm going to come in, and I want the shoulder to hang. So I want the arm to move, so I'm going to hold at the wrist. So the movement that I'm going to do is I'm going to push down, and then I'm going to squeeze the clavicle and the scapula together, and that's going to kind of close the acromioclavicular here. And then I'm going to push out. I'm going to push the head of the humerus out. So it's pretty aggressive, and it does really create a lot of good space. So here we go. I'm going to hold on here, going across, and so Brent's a pretty tough customer. Usually people go, whoa! All right. So this is probably something that I would do on him quite a bit, especially right in here. But that's the move. Okay, and now we're going to come around and we're going to hit all the points in the recipe. In your recipe, it calls for press, rub, and then finger springing. To be honest, it's to get you to practice your finger springing and going over the points over and over again. So I might not do that in a treatment, but we really want to get you used to these points. So the more time you go over them and the more you practice your finger springing, the better it is for you. So I'm going to run through the points. I'm going to gnaw, press, rub. So now we're at gallbladder 20. Urinary bladder 10. And gallbladder 21. And then I'm going to come in and get the small intestine points. So I want to position myself here because the first 2 points, small intestine 9 and 10, the vector's towards the heart. So coming in. So that was small intestine 9, small intestine 10. And palpating the scapula, it feels good. I'm just getting my landmarks and going into small intestine 11. And then coming over small intestine 14. And small intestine 15. I'm going to come around to the front, and I want to, especially on this shoulder because it's so tight, I'm going to get lung 1 and lung 2. So getting in my stance, making sure that I'm strong so that I can come in and really get lung 1. And lung 2. And now I'm going to come down the arm. So we're going to get all the large intestine points. So I'm kind of going to go backwards. I'm going to hold 4 here, and then I'm going to come up and get 16. That's the one that's in between the clavicle and the spine of the scapula. So that's 16. And 15. So again, for 15, I usually make sure I'm in the right place. As soon as I lift the arm up, my thumb goes into a nice hollow, so that's 15. I'm holding 4 the whole time. And then large intestine 11. We've done these before. Large intestine 10. And large intestine 4. And I would run through all of those points at least 3 times. So I'll do it one more time for you, and then I want you guys to practice that. So coming back and getting gallbladder 20. Urinary bladder 10. Gallbladder 21. Small intestine 9. Small intestine 10. Small intestine 11. I don't want to like push him forward, so that's why I put my hand here so that he doesn't have to have resistance. And then small intestine 14. And small intestine 15. And coming around, getting lung 1, lung 2, and then going to the large intestine points. Large intestine 16. Large intestine 15, intestine 11, large intestine 10, and large intestine 9. Okay. And then, as always, do a little bit of rolling after you press the points, just make them nice. Okay. So here we go with another aggressive move. It's plucking is a great way to break up stagnation. That when you've got a tendonitis, there's like all this inflammation around the tendon. The tendon feels a lot thicker than it should be. And so plucking really breaks that down. It will probably cause a fever in that local area because it's really aggressive at breaking it down. And I only do it to people who are willing to receive it because it is quite strong. So Brent's probably gonna sit here and pretend like it's not as strong as it is, but so I'm gonna shop around. Usually what I go for is the biceps brachii long head. That's usually one that's pretty involved in the tight shoulder. So, but sometimes I find other things to pluck, so it's not anything specific that you're looking to pluck. What you're looking for is what needs to be plucked. So I kind of come in here and kind of dig around. Oh, here we go. We got some right here. So kind of watch this area right here, and you'll see as I pluck along, it's like strumming the strings on a guitar. So got a little bit there. This isn't the biceps long head though, and I know he needs the long head. This is part of his deltoid. Now we're going to come in here. There's that long head. You okay?
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, it is intense. I'm also feeling the edge of the lower edge of the pec as well. I'm plucking on the pec. So this is where he's really, really tight. So I don't want to, it's going to get insulted. It's going to get pissed off. It's going to be really red. So we might put some liniment on it at night just to calm that down. Ah, man, it's got all kinds of stuff in here. Okay, did you get the idea, right? Okay. We'll stop torturing him with that. Let me do a little bit of rolling because that was pretty neat. Okay. Okay, here's the next move. This one is again on the aggressive side, but this move is, people really, really, really like it. It takes a lot of effort on my part, so I usually only do it once unless I get a lot of praise and I really love the person and I'm willing to do it twice, but pretty much I just do it once because it's a lot of effort. So the arm should be moving around wildly, so I'm going to ask my client to scoot just so that just so his arm is not going to hit the metal of the chair because it would really, really hurt. And I'm going to come down and his arm's going to hang. How tight that arm is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the sides of my hand, and I want to get in between the shoulder in here, between the scapula and the head of the humerus. So I place my hands in here and then I scoop in. So I'm going to use the sides of my hands here. I'm scooping in and then I'm going to start moving the shoulder around. See how his arm's moving? And I can get up underneath and on the sides. And now I'm going to roll. So I'm rolling across like this. You can do it different ways. So it's that. Really nice on the bicep. And then I usually come around, getting right above the condyles. And then down the arm. Down the wrist.
You should do that again.
So that's rub, roll, shake. You want to do it again? Okay, so let's come in. So I'm gonna get my hands in the shoulder. I'm gonna scoop up and underneath. So I'm using the sides of my hands. See how I'm using them to move that whole shoulder around and getting up underneath. All around. His arm is flailing. And then I'm gonna roll. Woo! Woo! Yeah. Woo. All right, roll. Okay. Oop, I should have stayed down there. All right, this next one is the move I talked about earlier. If your hands don't fit across the shoulder, you can do this one. So I'm going to bring his arm up and let it rest on my shoulder. And then I'm going, you don't have to interlock your fingers. It's just your hands are like this and you tend to interlock them, but you can do whatever you want. And I'm going to use the heels of my hands and come in and work all around the area. So this is a particularly good one for Brent. All right. So the next one is to saw, which is friction. It's usually done with a liniment, but we don't have a liniment, but I can show you how I would go. So here's the spine of the scapula, and then around the clavicle. So basically, I just follow the bony landmarks, also come below the clavicle here. So again, I'll use the side of my hand and go around the scapula, just kind of following the edges of the bone. And then I'll get below the clavicle. And that's all. All right. And now, give me a second. All right. Go ahead and get in the center of the chair again. I think you are, but I just want to be sure. Okay. I'm going to go wipe my face. Sorry. So we're going to traction the humerus out of the shoulder joint. So this is how I do it. I don't have a lot of upper body strength like a man does, so this is the way that I need to be able to do it. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to get my toes underneath, and then I'm going to bring my knee in, and I'm going to take some time to line the joint up. So I want to make sure that my knee gets way into the axilla. I want to feel the lat wrap around one side of my knee. I want to feel the pec wrap around the other side of the knee. And I want the humerus to be coming straight out. And reposition myself. So I don't want the arm forward, flexed forward, or extended. I want a pretty clean, just abduction. So tractioning takes time. I've got my knee in his axilla. So we have the brachial plexus in this area. What I do with clients is that I don't explain that they might get nerve sensation because I might press on their brachial plexus. Usually all I have to do is put my knee in here and just do a little bit of pressure and say, is that comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens if I'm on touching the brachial plexus, they'll usually just do a little shift and everything's fine. So now I'm going to hold above the elbow. So one hand is below, one hand is on top, And I'm going to, as I lean back to pull the humerus out, I'm also pushing my knee forward to pin the shoulder, the torso down. So coming in and taking time. So this happens occasionally. See how my leg is shaking like that? I don't worry about it. I just feel like it's a little extra thing. So this shoulder is liking this traction. It's wanting me to hang out here. It's probably why my leg is shaking like that. I'm going to come out. We went pretty far. All right. Sometimes holding the skin in this area, it like burns the skin. So you do have another option, and that is that I'm going to bring the arm up, and then I'm going to use my forearm. So I'm just holding the arm up so I can use it as a lever to hold on to, and then when I lean back, I pull the arm this way. And then that way, I'm not pulling on any of his skin. I don't feel as good doing it this way. I like it better the other way, but sometimes I have to do it this way because their skin just burns too much. And then we're going to roll. So thoroughly a nice roll. Get in the front. That's the Tui Na shoulder treatment. So, good luck.